Welcome to the Business Spotlight series. My name is Kay Cote, and I am your podcast host. And today on the show, we have Dan Cronin, Managing Director of Digital Media. Today, Dan is going to share all about his business, his journey to business ownership, best practices, and some challenges that he's faced along the way. If this is your first time on our channel, be sure to like and subscribe to get notifications when we drop episodes like this one. Well, welcome, Dan. It is so nice to meet you.
Yeah, nice to meet you as well, and thanks for having me on. Excited to kind of jump in.
Of course. Well, dive in, share a little bit about yourself and your business.
I'm Dan. I'm a founder and managing director of our media agency, which is Digital Media. Digital Media, give a bit of background, kind of my journey within marketing and media as a whole, began kind of 13, 14 years ago, working at multiple different agencies, both here in the UK and also abroad, to mention kind of Sydney, Manly. Worked at kind of the large media advertising agencies such as OMD and things like that, working on some really fancy and cool kind of different brands, right down to kind of your boutique agencies as well, over here in the UK. So, my kind of expertise spans right across from kind of that client relationships and management to media planning and buying for clients for both online and offline channels.
Mhm.
And kind of digital media was created and founded this year. A really new business that I decided to kind of create myself. Digital media. Some people cannot pronounce the name, and it does on a bad day doesn't come out as much. But Phygital is all about kind of blending both the physical and the digital elements of advertising within media for clients. And really, we focus on kind of startups and SMEs as clients, and we are focusing more on kind of our local areas within the UK and the Midlands. So it's being kind of a local marketing partner for startups and SMEs, which I am as well. But it's bringing all that knowledge, right from that I have, from the largest agencies to the smallest, and making that available to startups and SMEs within the local area of the West Midlands, here in the UK.
Oh, well, that's incredible. I'm super excited to dive into to learn more about your business. So thank you for sharing the brief about it. Now, you said the company is you started it this year. Are you like how is your team growing right now? Do you have team members or how does that look for you?
Yeah, so at the moment it's solely myself, who is doing the day-to-days from wearing different caps and hats, so to say. But we do have a number of trusted partners who I use for certain areas. So, we do offer to our clients everything from, paid search, paid social to the digital marketing channels, from SEO to content creation, even down to kind of website development and things like that. So, my expertise is within that kind of digital marketing space, but
Mhm.
also offline channels as well, and kind of deep diving into kind of consumers and their behaviors, and coming up with the right strategies for our clients. When it does
Mhm.
come to, building a website, it's a skill set I can do, but there are people that are better and you can't do everything yourself. So, at the moment, it's myself along with trusted partners that I use. Some are people and close friends who I've known over the years, and some are just some professionals I've met over the kind of networking. So, I have someone who's absolutely amazing at building, websites, but then again, I have another person who I, use for kind of all the things, photography and video and things like that as well. So it is just me. My wife is the kind of financial director, as I gave her that position, as
Mhm.
accountant here.
Mhm.
Just us two, and then our trusted partners that we work alongside with. And yeah, just being transparent with our clients of how we work as well. in
Mhm.
that way. That's one key thing for us as well, is that transparency and open book, which I think is so important in this sector.
Definitely. Well, thank you for sharing a brief about like your team. Kind of looking at your ideal client. Like if I were to walk in your doors, how would I know I'd be a good fit for you?
Yeah, so we do serve primarily startups and small to medium size, enterprises, SMEs, who are kind of passionate about growth. They may lack the tools and expertise to kind of navigate that, the ever changing marketing landscape that we're seeing nowadays. It's those who are within our local vicinity. However, we do, help local businesses elsewhere, because it's all about knowing, that deep diving into that kind of local consumer behavior.
Hmm.
Um, but it's all about, you have people who have some fantastic products and have a fantastic business and services to offer, but they don't necessarily have that marketing expertise. And you do have kind of more of the medium-sized businesses, the large scale, obviously, that have marketing offices on their end and they have those budgets. But I'm there to kind of, really be their local marketing partner on the ground and be
Hmm.
kind of an extension of them. And I think that's something I'm trying to, and which I do with my clients, is be really personalized for them. And actually, I don't do a lot of cold calling. I don't do cold emailing, to find new clients. I visit the local towns and actually see them face to face, because it's so important nowadays, with us all being stuck behind screens. So I think, if going back to your kind of question and bringing it back round, it's, if you're anyone from someone who's fantastic at baking cakes to having a local gym to a jeweler's, or anything that's independent and local, but you just don't know how to either kind of raise that awareness or increase your share of voice, or you might be lacking leads, as you say, or people like coming into your store. We'll come in, sit down, listen
Hmm.
to you, and see if it'll work. See what the challenges you are having, what is working well, what's
Hmm.
not, and come up with the right solution for you. Um, and I think what's quite important too is, and how I kind of differentiate with different agencies, is that we're offering this service that, at an available budget. Like, people don't always think they can have access to, you know, some of the tools that the larger brands have. And, even if you say do bake cakes, and you want to get that out there and you're not kind of social savvy or digital savvy in terms of marketing, you can have access to that. And I work on models where, I'm not all there to make the big profits, right?
Hmm.
I make those channels accessible for brands that are smaller, because it is possible. So I'm kind of under that radar, that where other agencies may not take those people on because it's just not worth their time and they can't make money out of it. But as it's me wearing multiple hats and have the skill sets across multiple different agencies over the last 14 years, I'm kind of bringing that to the local market and these startups and small businesses.
That's really incredible. I love learning about how you have that kind of unique edge to what your business. And so it kind of leads me perfectly into my next question, which is what is one thing you wish people knew about your business that they might not?
Oh, good question. Um, what would I want them to know? So I guess it would be, what they wouldn't know about. Well, obviously they can check it out on the website, but I guess what would I want them to know that they may not know already? Um, it's just knowing that, we are local and on the ground, and that trust and transparency and having that personal touch. I think a lot of people, when they see, say, an advert out there that is from an agency, and you see it so much nowadays, of like, there's so many different media agencies out there, big and small, and you see all the time, and I'm getting retargeted all the time, um, of like, we'll look after your social media for X amount a month, and we can do this and get you more leads and things like this. And I see it so much of it being forced upon people, and
Mm-hmm.
we're kind of there to help, you know, hold your hand, and also, you know, not just kind of push something onto people. It's about educating them as well at the same time in teaching them. And I think that's something that, we do. We don't just come in and say, look, you need to be doing Google ads, you need to be doing Meta. This is what we can offer you, and it's going to cost you this much. We're really personalized, and really listen and want to come up with the right solutions. I think there's so many agencies out there, um, that have kind of lost that personal touch, in my own opinion.
Mm-hmm.
um, and they care about that quick buck. There's a lot of kind of, small agencies out there, and you've got to be careful, I think, nowadays of what you see online, um, in terms of some agencies where it's a little bit clickbait, of where you say we can get you 100 leads this month, or we can get you more brand awareness. And yeah, we just offer that kind of personal touch. We'll educate you along the way, and even teach you how to take it over, and once you may leave us, and have your own marketing team. And
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it's about caring, I think, and having that transparency.
That is like such a profound truth when it comes to business. And that's such a, I'm so glad you said that, the caring component, because I really
Mm.
truly believe that it is a huge factor in creating a business that, matters and it's something that's contributing. So I really thank you for sharing that. Diving into a little bit of marketing on your own business. I'm curious to, as a marketing business, what are
Mm.
you doing for your marketing? You mentioned not doing much with cold calling, but what are some things that you're finding success in for your marketing pursuits?
Yeah, like in all honesty, at the moment, we only started out kind of, the idea came about a couple of years ago, but only kind of executed it from like June this year. So we're really kind of early doors, and a startup, right? But so I'm staying away from using any paid activity at the moment. I'm literally doing what I kind of mentioned earlier. It's, I have utilized like LinkedIn, getting in touch with people I'm already connected with within kind of the different networks. But a lot of it is, and it's, I think a lot of the time, what I'm doing is kind of visiting all the kind of local different towns, cities, looking to see which businesses may need help, in their journey, and may need the guidance. So it's literally just walking in and talking to people. I think a lot of the time now it's people behind screens, or emails or phone calls, and it's, I want to start out, from giving that trust and putting a face to the name. And I think 90% of the time, like, all agencies do the same thing, right? Everyone does websites, everyone does SEO, everyone does paid media, and social media management. But so everyone can do that, but it's like, really, I think most of the time it's, do get on with those people that you're visiting, and do they care about you? They've got to invest in that person. And I think if you kind of just walk in and have a chat, a casual chat, at first, I think, currently that's the way I've been doing it. And, since June, we're kind of up to, our fourth or fifth client,
Mm-hmm.
which, I think is pretty good going. I've not ran my own business before, but seems to be doing the trick. And it's just giving that local expertise and that local knowledge with a familiar face that's, born and bred in this area.
Mm-hmm.
It just gives that little bit of an extra touch, I think, to be part of the team. So I kind of start as I mean to go on, um, by kind of walking into the stores or businesses myself. But it will get to the point, I'm sure, where we'll be utilizing, what we do here for businesses in terms of different media channels, and using that to kind of grow. But always got to keep looking at the finance figures too. So anything I could do for free, and kind of get those 10,000 steps in. Let's do it. Yeah.
Definitely. I love the in-person, meet and greet. That really does create some impact. So very, very cool. I'm kind of like taking it back a little bit. I want to learn a little more about you and your why behind your business. Being in marketing for many years, what made you choose to go into business for yourself as opposed to working for someone else? And what was that transition like for you?
Yeah. So I think I think with myself, I think I've grown up like my father, I would say, is quite an entrepreneur and businessman, and kind of been very successful in that route. And I've been in the kind of industry for 13, 14 years. I'm 37 this year, and I always wanted to run my own business, be that it within what I do now and what I've always done within media. Um, and always kind of been up late at night with different, writing down all these different business ideas. I'd send them to my dad. He would send them on to kind of different investor type of people that are kind of family friends too, and they'd always come back and shut you down, going, "That's already been done," or and give me some advice. And I'd always kind of power through of what can I come up with that I could run as a business. And I think it all came out in one big circle of like, okay, well, why don't I, create my own agency? And the actual story of it, cutting a long story short, is yeah, I was walking. It was my dad's birthday just earlier in the year, and we were walking down the canal, um, and stopped off at a local pub to have some fish and chips. And yeah, we kind of just stated. Dad was like, 37 this year. Have you ever thought about starting your own business? And I said, well, yeah, I came up with some branding a couple of years ago. Um, but I'm working full time for another agency, and it's not really one ethical, and you can't really do it. And you can't kind of focus 100% of the time. And I said, look, I'd love to do it. I'd love to, you know, jump into creating my own business and running my own agency. But, I've got a mortgage. I got two beautiful daughters who are like 2 and 1, and my wife. And it's like how it's that catch 22 of like, well, you want to start your own business, but also you've got these bills to pay. So how can you do that? So um, we had a few more chats, and we just thought, look, just jump in and do it. So I've kind of said, look, let's give myself a year, 2 years, um, and let's see if it's success. And if it's not, I've tried it, and I, can go out if it doesn't work and apply for another role, which I've always done. Always a positive person, an optimist. So yeah, that's kind of like the background. I've always wanted to do it, but I didn't want to do it kind of a couple of years ago because there were still some skills and things I wanted to make sure I was 100% about before I kind of took everything to kind of create my own agency, I think.
Yeah.
And now just seemed the right time and just jumped in. Yeah.
Definitely. Well, that's amazing. And kind of looking at like if you continue to go in business, where do you see your business going for the next 3 to 5 years?
Um, 3 to 5 years. Wow. So we're only kind of like 3 months in. But I think in the next 3 to 5 years, um, obviously, I'd like to kind of expand our offering. I don't want to lose the kind of personal touch. I don't necessarily have the vision of it becoming like a massive empire, a massive agency. I think, I was talking to one of my ex bosses who is a great mentor. And as soon as I kind of set up the business, he said, let's catch up. I'll give you some advice. I've helped him, and karma comes around, and he said, look, I'll give you some advice. So, which has always stuck with me. And it was all about, he started out his own agency before he eventually sold it, quite recently. Um, and he said, look, at the beginning, I was, the revenue was coming in, the profit margins around that kind of 25, 30%. And, all of a sudden, he was turning over so much that he just decided to get an office, hire people, got all excited and grow, grow, grow. And what he's always kind of told me is kind of he wish he hadn't grown so quick because then those margins would just squeeze so much. And
Mm.
he's taught me kind of a way which, keeping it just on this nice level of size of business and how to kind of do that and not kind of necessarily jump and grow too quickly. I think over the next 3 to 5 years, we want to expand the offering. Already looking, and so others, of integrating more AI and data-driven solutions and giving clients more of that kind of precise targeting and deeper insights.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I don't want to lose the kind of whole of who we are in the next 3 to 5 years, but I think, yeah, like I want to be that kind of person, that trusted marketing partner who, especially within the Midlands, I'm sure it will grow out, of like, if anyone ever needs help, that the word of mouth and just front of mind, it's like, this is the person in the local area to go to. And,
Mm-hmm.
if we could franchise that out to different areas with the same sort of people with me that were born in different areas with the same skill sets, then maybe that way. But yeah, not jumping ahead too quickly.
Oh, that's great. That's great advice. I love hearing that. And we've covered some really great ground in this conversation. It's been a joy, like sharing about your business, learning about your business. And now I'd like to dive into it's a fun section of the interview where we ask you 4 questions, and it's all about answering very top of mind. We call it our rapid fire questions.
Hmm.
Dan, are you ready for some rapid fire?
Yeah, go for it. Let's jump in.
All right. The first question is, what is a key to success for you?
I would say adaptability. I think being able to adapt, pivot quickly around the landscapes, things like that.
Definitely. And what is a piece of advice you have for other business owners?
I think it's staying close to your clients and not losing that kind of personal touch. Understanding their needs deeply, um, and just really investing in your clients and keeping it personalized and aim to add that value to them.
Mm,
Yeah.
definitely. What is one piece of content? It could be a book, a podcast, something that you've taken in most recently.
So I don't tend to read too many books nowadays. It's more podcasts. But one book that I did read just was called Atomic Habits
Mm,
by James Clear. And that's all about kind of making small changes, with the aim to kind of um, get kind of significant results. So it's all about those small little changes that you can make that kind of, yeah, get you positive and bigger results.
a great book. I love that book.
Yeah.
And then final question is, if you could like wave a magic wand and immediately improve overnight one aspect of your business, what would it be?
I think probably because where we're getting to now is probably maybe having another employee here to help. But I think kind of, yeah, either kind of just increasing kind of employees here, just only like maybe one more just to help out. But also then if it wasn't kind of in that physical way, more in the digital way, would be kind of the analytics and the software. Like they can get so expensive, right? And investing in
Mm.
those. So maybe having the capabilities of data analytics to provide even deeper insights. But we'll get there. We've got enough at the moment to really satisfy clients.
Oh, those are really great. Thank you for sharing that. And before we wrap up for the day, how can people find you?
Yeah, so you can find me on all social platforms, mainly on Meta and LinkedIn by
Mm.
searching Phygital Media, and also via the website, which is phygitalmedia.co.uk.
Wonderful. And Dan, for our final question for today, what is most inspiring to you today?
Um, I think today, and keeping it close to what I do, it's just seeing a lot of, and I've been out today whilst the sun's been shining in September, is seeing lots of local businesses like thriving at the moment and lots of startups. I think with kind of social media and all the different channels that people have access to for free now, you can literally start your own business and make money and positive vibes, right from from your computer. And it's lovely to see all these startups and SMEs, coming out the woodwork. And that's why I'd love to just be part of their journey and helping them grow. And it's great to see that people can kind of, take their dreams and hobbies and actually make money, when, it would have been harder. It's easily accessible nowadays and it's all there with the support.
Oh, that's incredible. Well, Dan, this has been such a great conversation, like I said earlier. And to all of our listeners out there, be sure to take a few times through on this episode, as well as like and subscribe to get notifications when we drop episodes like this. So, Dan, again, thank you so much for your time today.
Yeah, thank you very much as well. Been great.